Good morning. It's still too early to draw any conclusion either from the political situation or the FII behavior. Flows have ebbed even as political leaders are raising decibel levels regarding early elections. On the corporate front, several companies will start reporting first quarter earning results, including Infosys, on Friday. The outlook is a weak to flat start to begin with. Some buying may set in during the day. The introduction of call auction for illiquid scrips from today will be watched. 2070 stocks will come under illiquid scrip trading window. Asian stocks are mostly lower. Chinese shares are hit by bird flu reports. Japanese shares have risen as the yen has shed some value. The trigger is the report that the Bank of Japan is expected to buy approximately 1.2 trillion yen in Japanese government bonds early this week. Nikkei is up 2.5%. Australia's S&P or ASX 200 index and South Korea's Kospi index slipped are flat. Straits Times index is also marginally down. Hong Kong's Hang Seng index is down 0.3%, while China's Shanghai Composite index is almost 2% lower. In the US, the S&P 500 and Nasdaq saw one of their worst weeks after disappointing job reports. This week, President Obama's budget proposal, the US Treasury budget, and minutes from last month's Federal Open Market Committee meeting will be in focus. The US manufacturing sector, with PPI and wholesale and business inventories, are other data points which will be watched. Portugal's Prime Minister has announced severe cuts in public spending following a decision by the Constitutional Court rejecting a number of austerity provisions in this year's budget, says a report. Finance Minister P. Chidambaram is scheduled to meet select bankers in Mumbai today to prod them to increase lending to productive sectors. Chidambaram is also expected to meet select investors. A panel of judges of the Delhi High Court has squashed an earlier order of court preventing the government from discontinuing Bharti Airtel's 3G services in regions where it does not have permits for these operations. Hotel Leela Venture has begun charting a turnaround. As a part of its strategy to pay its debt of around Rs 47.5 billion, the company plans to sell many of its non-core assets and enter into management contracts for its hotel projects. The Income Tax Department has slapped a Rs 39 billion notice on Idea Cellular and its subsidiary, Aditya Birla Telecom, over transfer of assets and licenses between the two companies in 2009. State Bank of India plans to raise up to $1 billion through 5-year bonds next week to meet foreign currency requirements of Indian companies. Minerals and Metals Trading Corp achieved a sales turnover of Rs 150 billion in gold jewelry in first year 2013 and is eyeing a turnover of Rs 350 billion in the financial year 2013-2014. Mahanandi Coalfield Limited, the second largest subsidiary of Coal India Limited, has recorded a coal production of 107.894 million tons in the last financial year. Chennai Petroleum Corp Limited, a subsidiary of Indian Oil Corp Limited, has got environment clearance for its Rs 33.50 billion expansion project at the Manali refinery. Oriental Bank of Commerce is confident of achieving a net interest margin of 3% in the current fiscal. The public sector lender is eyeing 15% growth in net profits in 2013-2014 despite challenges such as downward pressure on lending rates and deteriorating asset quality. The share of public sector in steel output has declined, while contribution from the private sector has increased since 2007-2008 according to the government data. Public sector share has declined from 32% from 2007-2008 to 21% in April-December 2012 according to the Steel Ministry data. Cyprus registered funds that invest in Indian debt instruments are refraining from taking their redeemed investments back to the island nations. Fears over safety of their money following the economic turmoil in Cyprus, which prompted the nation to impose haircuts on bank accounts, raise taxes and introduce capital controls, are forcing funds to stop remittances to that country. These funds are private equity entities and institutions. Government bond yields are expected to ease further this week amid comfortable liquidity in the system. The rupee, on the other hand, may breach Rs 55 per dollar. With public sector banks staring at huge staff retirement over the next few years, the government has decided to relax the norms for promotion for the current financial year. The Finance Ministry has allowed the bank to deviate from the prescribed promotion norms with the approval of their board so that more employees can become eligible for promotions. Trends in the FII flows. The FIIs were net sellers of Rs 2.03 billion in the cash segment on Friday, while domestic institutional investors were net buyers of Rs 214.7 million as per the provisional figures released by the NSE. The foreign funds were net sellers of Rs 16.16 billion in the cash segment on Thursday according to the figures released by SEBI. Our recommendations, the technical calls for the day. We recommend buying Hexaware above Rs 91 for the target price of Rs 96 with stop loss placed at Rs 88.50. The derivative strategies. Long RECL April futures above Rs 209 for the target price of Rs 218 with stop loss placed at Rs 205. Thank you. We should have a good day ahead.